What up? No, it is another Tuesday, and the rumors are true. This time my teeth are coming out on Thursday, so we will not be having Thursday episode. Yeah, fuck you, wisdom teeth. But there's a lot to talk about in combat sports and pro wrestling. I'm officially, well, not quite a week. So I'm a week and a day away from when I hop on a motherfucking plane and take my happy ass to Dallas for Wrestlemania. So, like I say, I, for one, am really ready for this week to get the fuck over with and ready to get this week the fuck over with, get my ass to Wrestlemania, get to some warmer weather. And by the time Wrestlemania gets here, my fucking teeth won't hurt anymore. But Sophia, you're checking in from Canada. What's the weather like over there? Did your weather have like a bipolar spurt like ours did here in Michigan? And I'm going to need you to follow along and let us know your thoughts on some of the stuff we got going on. Donald was with me at the Murder City Deathmatch Cup, so I'm going to need to get your thoughts when we go through that as well, as I also did my first Shoey with Joel Bateman, because these two were pussies and wouldn't do it. I'm just saying. It was a time to be had. Since my teeth didn't get ripped out, I figured, hell, why don't I accept the challenge to go do a Shoey? I mean, that's how I figured a good way to spend my Thursday, spend my St. Patrick's Day. And hell, I got to hang out with Darren McCarty, so there's a lot to talk about.
I mean, if we're going to start there, I want to state it this way. I'm proud of you, J-Bone, for turning that one down, because
he wasn't there, so he didn't turn shit down.
There was good reasoning. Okay, things got all mixed up. For the record, let's blame the dentist office. All right, let's blame the dentist office first and foremost. It wasn't.
It's definitely the dentist office.
It was all on the dentist. So whoever that dentist is, thanks for.
They don't need to have the pencil.
Definitely not. But thanks for getting me out of a nasty looking Shoey.
Pussy.
Props to you though, bro. That looked rough. I'm not gonna lie. So
that's what I was gonna say.
You're right, Donald. Joel Bateman was the man, and Corey's supposed to be the beer guy, and he was even a pussy.
You couldn't have took a cleaner shoe, dog. You couldn't have.
I haven't worn them. Which other ones you wanted me to use? The other ones that I wear every day? I haven't worn those in like 2 or 3 months. I purposely used a pair of shoes I wasn't walking around in all fucking day. I knew what I was doing. See, unlike our guys from Pro Wrestling Edge, they didn't think to bring another pair of shoes. I already knew what time it was. I said, if this motherfucker's going to challenge me, I'm not squashing my way through the parking lot after the tournament was over. I came prepared. I was covered. Donald can attest to this. See, they weren't. I was. See, that's why you guys come here and you got to make sure you hit that subscribe button so you see us there. But I mean, dude, it was, like Donald said, Joel Bateman was the man. Corey's a pussy. And yeah, him and Tommy Vendetta definitely, all the shit talking that went down on this show, I would say was lived up to. There was a lot of fucking blood, first of all. Second of all, I don't know if it was very well advised by Tommy Vendetta to bring out Jeremiah Goldmain with him, because it seemed like if you watch the match at the end of the match, Goldmain ended up being the one to fuck Tommy over on accident. So I feel like Tommy might have done better without him, but holy shit, was that a bloodbath. They beat the shit out of each other, and Joel Bateman advanced to the second round. Let's see. That floor was gross, though. Blood and glass everywhere. Oh, dude, you're not fucking kidding, dude. Like, if anyone didn't know any better, like, you could have walked around that ring and thought it was like we had just went through like a elaborate like death scene or some shit. Oh. Like, it was blood and glass everywhere.
That's exactly how I would describe the aftermath of those death matches. Is literally like you just are seeing the aftermath of like some horror movie scene that just got filmed in front of you. That would be like the most accurate way to describe it, because it's literally like when they're just pushing the push broom, it's just literally overlapping the top of it with just broken light tube glass and just shards.
When they basically got to take an intermission in between each match to clean it up. I mean, that pretty much tells you.
Yeah, I was just about to say, who's the real MVP?
Okay,
the guy that gets out there with the
match. And let's not even forget, this is a deathmatch tournament, so it was a 2-day tournament. You still had all of round 2 that was the second day that I wasn't there for. There you go. See, Rachel from Horror Slam is right there in the comments. Match was awesome, very entertaining. I fucking agree with you. That's why I had to bring it up here on the show. I mean, like I said, shout out to Joel Bateman, shout out to Tommy Vendetta. If you haven't already done so, make sure you check out those episodes. Yeah, a lot of good shit there. You'll see Joel Bateman go from doing his thing in a cubicle to cutting dudes up with like a cube stick. So yeah, I don't know, man. It was
literally the biggest transfer of character ever.
Pretty much.
Goes from, yeah, I can't really swear or anything. I wish I could join you guys in the banter a little more because I'm in the office at the moment. To the picture of you guys doing a shoey together where he's just literally covered in blood and just, you can just tell, you know, he's just marred as could be. Such a transfer.
Mm-hmm.
Well, dude, Tommy Vendetta, you know, that's another thing about that show. Shout out to past guests of the show, Darren McCarty, who, hey, wait a minute. Hey, wait a minute. If you guys are fans of Darren McCarty, make sure you check out them Darren McCarty THC gummies, the Power Play Boys, and the CBD roll-on, which I'm telling you, I've used after my workouts the last 2 or 3 days in a row. That shit is on point. It's not messy. Like I said, I am a big fan of the products. Like I said, shout out to D-Mac. Shout out to past guests of the show, the Dread King Logan, who I haven't gotten to kick it with in a very long time. But, you know, him and D-Mac stopped me like, how are you going to walk by and not come kick it? How dare you? So it's like, yes, sir. Like, I appreciate it. But, yeah, dude, we got
to say no to that.
Right. You know what I mean? We're talking about Darren fucking McCarty. But, yeah, McCarty had a lot of good things to say about knockouts and 3 counts. And, you know, for any of you guys who might be going to that Ruthless Pro and No Peace Underground collab show that's going down there at Harpo's, you might want to make sure you stay tuned, hit that like button, hit the share button, hit the subscribe button, because, you know, if you've been following us a while, you know that back in the day at BCWA, we used to, every show we had somebody on the week before, then we had, you know, clips from the show, and then we were backstage doing interviews. Well, it looks like we might be doing that now for Ruthless Pro coming up here at Harpo's May 7th. Like I say, if you guys are in the area for that shit, I highly recommend coming out to this show. It's going to be a great time. So, yeah, make sure you check that out. But like I said, it was cool to get to kick it with D-Mac. Seeing this dude that hype for what's going on, like, this dude's legitimately a fan of the stuff. And just the conversation was cool. Like I said, if you guys didn't get to do so, make sure you check out our last episode with D-Mac, because something tells me you might see D-Mac back on the show real soon near you, along with Midwest Scum.
Anybody who follows him on any of his socials can tell that he's just genuine about his feelings with wrestling, man. He's always posting. He's tagging all kinds of people in the underground scene, kind of got like a bunch of inside joke type shit running with so many type of people. So you can tell he's very passionate about the indie scene in the area for sure.
Super down to earth too, man. Very approachable, man. That guy's, I don't care what anybody says, that guy's Detroit's rock star right there.
Yeah.
That dude's the man.
Hey, man, like I said, he's cool people. Like I said, it was great to get to kick it with him and Logan, and I'm looking forward to having Logan back on the show. Most likely this time we'll be bringing him along with his tag team partner, the other half of Midwest Scum. Zach Thomas will be joining us as well. Like I say, I am looking forward to seeing what's next for the Dread King. But yes, Donald, like I said, like he's talking about in the comments, I am very much looking forward to that show. I'm looking forward to doing some stuff with D-Mac and our buddies from Ruthless Pro. Shout out to Chris and all of them. I know they check out the show regularly and all that good stuff. I've said for a while Ruthless Pro is somewhere that I would like to check out. Like I said, I'm really excited for what's to come for us in 2022. But like I said, make sure you check out Darren McCarty. Check out his products. Like I said, the links to that are in the comments. But, you know, you got to have money to be able to buy those things. And guess what? We got you covered there, too. Make sure you check out the homies G3 Payroll, Tax, and Accounting. Get your shit together this tax season and make sure that Jack and the homies at G3 are able to get you guys the most money back on that refund, and tell them Knockouts and 3 Counts sent you. Hey, and see, you speak of the devil in any walks. Shout out to Chris Kohlberg. If you haven't done so, make sure you check out Ruthless Pro. Second of all, shout out to Hyperion Belts. That new fucking belt was dope. First of all, I'm just saying that belt was dope. We might have to snag a couple pictures with that damn thing come May 7th. But yeah, that belt was dope. I'm definitely looking forward to I'm really looking forward to seeing what comes next from them because, like I said, it's not bullshit. I've said it when we're not here on the air. Ruthless Pro is somewhere I wanted to check out. I'm glad that I was able to get out there for the Horror Slam Murder City Deathmatch Cup. Like I said, it was carnage galore there. That's pretty much about the only way I really can accurately try to describe this one. If you guys are watching it, make sure you please do me a favor, share the video, let everybody know that you're watching so that we can get more people in here. But I agree with you, J-Bone. I don't think a ton of shoeys are going to be in my future. I'm not afraid. I will not back down from a challenge, at least most of the time.
Look, man, I was there in spirit, bro. Look, I would have did it if things would have worked out. I would have been right there with you, but I don't.
Oh, so what you're saying is when he comes back, both you motherfuckers got to do it. That's what you heard first. That's what you heard.
I owe him one.
See that? J-Bone says he owes him one. That means Corey, your bitch ass does too.
I'll do it.
A fresh pair of water shoes I'll wear that day just for it.
No, you're only getting 2 ounces of beer at that point, you puss. No, you can't do that. That's cheating. That's cheating, man. I drank mine right out of some Vans.
I put a piece of paper in there so it works as a funnel. So I'm drinking like a shoe, or maybe I'll.
I was worried for a minute. I thought you were gonna have to drink out of his shoe. That's what was worrying me for you. I was legit worried about you at one point.
Or maybe I'll hook up the UFC fighter Tai Tuivasa and order his actual shoey device that he came out with.
There you go. I owe him one. Look, it'll work out next time for sure.
I'm just saying, I paid my end of the bet. See, I don't make bets that I won't keep, damn it. So I'm just saying, for the record here, and the Smash Hit Joel Bateman can attest to it, I paid my end of that bet. Like I said, we had some bangers on that card. Hoodfoot was on there. They killed each other. Randy West, holy shit. She ended up in the hospital with a concussion after night 2. Dude,
I seen that.
It's
always bad to hear.
Well, dude, if you watch the match, Jesus, they beat the hell out of each other, and Randy's been making a name for herself in the deathmatch scene. So, I mean, it's another day at the office, but she's still human. I don't know how human, but she's still human. Like I said, dude,
gnarly ass cut, man. Oof.
Dude. Oof. You're not kidding. Gnarly ass cut is an understatement to what I saw. Hey, everybody that's watching on the stream, like I said, drop a comment. You know what the deal is. Let us know where you're watching from, all that stuff. Make sure you hit the share button, like button, subscribe button if you're watching on YouTube, because it all helps the show. And like I said, we need the comments in the comments for us. So like I said, let us know your thoughts. All right. Well, we're going to jump off of wrestling for a little bit because I figure we'll go in order.
The
UFC. Well, I was going to say UFC London first.
Okay. All right. We'll touch on London first. All right.
Can we talk about fucking? And I've already slid in those DMs for all you that have been listening. I was sliding in them DMs. Meatball Molly McCann with the dopest knockout I've seen in 2022 so far. Look, Kathy, we will definitely get to Paddy. Paddy the Baddy. There's plenty to talk about with Paddy the Baddy, but I gotta give credit to Meatball Molly first. The son of a bitch. I don't know if she could ever time that good ever again, but oh my God, dog, she laid that woman out.
Yeah, and you can tell she's going to do nothing but build more confidence in that technique with just the way she was able to throw it, because she kind of framed with her elbow for just a second to kind of measure distance, turned her head and then stuck her with it. And all that's going to do is continue to just excel. Like, I had watched an interview and she just talked about how she had been practicing all this camp to be able to work the inside game like that. And man, did that technique really show out. And like I say, whenever somebody lands with that significant of a force where they are able to get a knockout like that, you know that she's going to try to implement, and not only implement, but improve that technique in the future. So Molly McCann was I was already a huge fan of hers going into this, and she just showed out on the night. She was one of my favorite performances. And then especially with the way she ran out of the cage and stuff, the belt thing was a little, I felt a little indifferent about that. You knocked out, a contender, but not, you got to earn that belt holding in the ring like that.
All right. But can we also talk about I need like somebody with the energy like Molly McCann had when Paddy went out to fight. Cause like, she was still in full on fight shorts, just losing her fucking mind when Paddy came out. Like she was going ham. Like that's the kind of support I want behind me when I'm about to step in a ring. That's the kind of support if we're about to go bang, I need Molly McCann behind me, bro.
I mean,
I'm just saying.
Paddy's reaction was pretty similar. They showed the replay.
Yeah, I saw it, but I'm just saying, like, that's the type of teammates I want around me. If we're about to go to war, I want people like that behind me. I'm just saying. And I mean, I don't know what her relationship status was, but bro, if I was Paddy, that'd be can you imagine the two of them? Like, they can just like tag team motherfuckers. We see the Miz and Maurice at WrestleMania and all this stuff, bro. Hot damn. They'd fuck some people up. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Get them tag team fights, them two versus another female and a male. Like, dang.
Right. God, I just watched that. I just watched it back. I just watched it back
again.
What'd I say? I just watched that elbow back three or four times, dude, on loop. What an elbow!
Look at everybody. That's what I got in the comments, bro. Like she did it perfect.
It was right on the button. She dipped her head and just threw it, man. And just beautiful. But hey, you got
that was gnarly.
My favorite part was the end of the second round, I believe, when she got the takedown and the big slam, and then just landed on top of her, and threw the thumbs up, like, I got this.
That's good shit.
Like,
hey, I'll tell you what, I dug that whole card, dude, for it being a free fight,
for it being a fight night, dude. That was, I mean,
with it, dude.
Dude, like, okay, that's another one we got to talk about. So obviously there was all the talk going into that about what happened with Ilya Taporia and Paddy, but dude, Taporia was in there tough as fuck, man, because that first round, Taporia definitely lost 10-9. Taporia was getting that work put on him.
Go ahead. Sorry,
go ahead.
That was by far the most I've ever seen him tested. Like, by far.
He got fucking cracked.
That head kick, that neck head kick that landed like directly at the break. Woo! I was genuinely surprised, especially the fact that he's traditionally a 45er who's fought as low as 35 in the earlier stages in his career, and to be making his first move up to lightweight at 55. That head kick to land the way it did, and for him to just kind of be able to survive his way through that. And then not only that, he was a constant threat even when he was hurt. And then you've seen with the finish, man, that was just clean. The cleanest technique ever. It was got him up top, made him raise his hands, just froze him with the body punch, and then just lays him out with the overhand right. It was nasty. The combination.
He hit him with a body head left. He hit him with a body head left hook that finished him. And like I say, it dude, that was a gnarly ass knockout. Now, here's the thing though. So like, do you think because of all the bullshit that happened, do you think he should get to fight Paddy next, or do you think that Paddy is right in saying that Taporia is not on the level for him to be fighting next? Well, I want to know what you guys think in the comments. Here we go. The overhand right never fails. Do you want to see Paddy and Taporia fight next? I want to know.
I would love to see the fight. I would honestly love to see the fight, but there's 0% chance that's the next fight for Paddy, unless because he's made it pretty clear to this point that his whole thing is he's kind of playing like the Sean O'Malley route, right? Where he wants that next contract, he wants that next level pay grade before he starts chasing these top 15 level talent. And I completely respect that. I honestly
I
do,
respect it and
especially
agree with it, but I don't think the UFC will play ball with that shit.
with somebody with his level of star power. I think they will, because if you look at the two matchups they gave him, Big John McCarthy made a great point where he said he's been tested more in Cage Warriors than he has been in his two fights in the UFC, both in the actual fights and with the level of competition that he was facing. So I would like to see a step up in competition for him. But that being said, you got to fucking pay the dude. You see that the whole arena was going crazy for him. So,
look, man,
Sean
O'Malley might have finally been one of the first ones to help start start that whole thing, because I'm not arguing that at all, especially seeing what some of these contracts play out to and what they look like and all that kind of stuff. I don't blame him for that.
What's an initial contract look like? It's like 2 to 3 fights, maybe.
It's usually like a 2 to 3 fight deal, and depending on the level of star coming into it and stuff, it's anywhere from like 25 and 25 to 12 and 12. And the reports are coming out that he's in the realm of like 20 and 20. So even with his bonus and his win bonus, he's still under 100,000, and he had that arena going as crazy as it did. Maybe he's getting some back.
Oh, dude, he's got to be getting something, because, dude, like Kathy just said, when he came out to the cage, dog, that place blew the fucking roof off that joint. Like, say what you want, dude. Like, at the end of the day, that's why Conor McGregor always has that trump card, because like him or not, whether it's the old pro wrestling adage, either they want to see you get your ass beat or they want to see you kick somebody's ass. In both of their cases, they're going to end up being a heel. He might be the big star over there in England, but they're both going to play the heel, and people are going to want to see them get their ass kicked. And say what you want, but that's going to end up making that kid money in the long run. But something else I want to point out about Paddy and J-Bone, this goes to you. Do you, man, fucking Leilani Kai, who is an old school WWF female wrestler. Like, she was back in the days of Medusa and all of them back in the 80s, and she saw my tweet and agreed with me. Did anybody else peep how Paddy keeps using Bret Hart's line every time he fucking does an interview?
Yeah, I did. I
literally every fucking interview he does, he uses Bret Hart's line.
Yeah. The first time I heard it, I turned my head like, wait, what? All right. The second time I'm like, oh, okay, all right. Hey,
they're even quoting him at it. I said, I see you out here with the Bret Hart.
Yeah, pro wrestling is everywhere. What's the old saying? Wrestling is real, people are fake. Everybody takes after pro wrestling, bro. That just is what it is.
I'm just saying. I mean, he literally
it ain't going nowhere. Even in your mixed martial arts, you're gonna find pro wrestling, and that's a fact.
Well, that's like what makes so many of these guys more entertaining and stand out over the rest, right? Is their ability to work the mic, their ability to garner attention beyond just what they're doing in the cage. And that's what a lot of fighters fail to realize is, you need the media, you need the fans' hype and stuff like that to be able to really build your career and star power to where you can actually transcend the sport. So when you're done, you're not just chasing checks on doing small stuff. You'll have, fans wanting just to tune into a media show or something that you jump on or something like that. I mean,
and it takes you a long way too. I mean, look, we've seen Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor talked all of us right into watching his fights. Paddy's doing the same thing.
Yeah,
you just got to back it up. It's not for everybody. You know what I mean? A lot of guys can't do it.
Paddy's just got to learn to tuck that chin a little more, man. My man he cannot afford to
He's way too hittable, bro.
He is. That's one thing for sure.
Yeah, with the level of competition that he's facing, especially at the moment, for him to just kind of end 2 straight fights as freshman and now sophomore fight, if you want to look at it that way in the UFC, you cannot be continuing to get hit like that, especially once you move up to higher level competition.
Yeah, facts, man.
That was really Kazulu Vargas's only way to beat him, was a hard, solid
and
shot.
He dropped him in the first 30 seconds of the fucking fight.
Yep.
Like, he put him on his ass in the first 30 seconds of the fight.
He's got to watch himself for sure. But the star power alone can get him a lot, but he's still got levels to improve on.
But that's the thing.
I
He's still finished.
Yeah.
I want to pose a question to you guys though, real quick. Who was your kind of standout star of the night? Because it was like a mini pay-per-view with the amount of talent and everything and the showcase events that came out of it. I mean, it was just a standout event from every angle you look at it. But
So I agree with that. I got a quick question for our wrestling fans that are watching. You know, you guys in the comments. I want to know, what do you think of him using the Bret Hart line? And for those of you who might be wondering, what Bret Hart line did he use? He's been using it at the front of every one of his promos. I know Corey probably didn't spot it right away either. He's been saying since the amateurs, he said he wants to be the best the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be. I seem to remember a Canadian who wears a lot of black and pink and throws a lot of sharpshooters on motherfuckers who use that a lot. So just saying, that was a direct hit from Bret the Hitman Hart, just for the record. But to answer your question, okay, reword it for me one more time. What were you asking?
Who was your most
my standout
performer?
of UFC London for sure. I think it's Tom. It's for me. It's got to be either Aspinall or Molly McCann. Not that I'm saying that Paddy didn't have a big performance, but Paddy also got cracked. I think Paddy already was the star going into it, and Paddy just solidified that Paddy is essentially ready for the next level up. Aspinall, on the other hand, to go in there with a guy like Volkov, who's been proven not only in the UFC but elsewhere, and to go in there and not only beat him but finish him, and not finish him in the way that maybe everybody expected him to finish him. I think that gains you a lot of steam, and not to mention, you know, Molly McCann. I mean, there's nothing else to talk about. She's got a highlight reel knockout that's going to be in a bunch of highlight reels for years to come. She knocked the shit out of that girl. Like, there's no other way to put it.
She summed it up great in her interview. She said, I'm going to now be on like the opening theme song for the night. Like, my highlight is going to be so big that when they like open the night and they play that 30-second reel of a bunch of knockouts, I'm going to be on that now. And I love the way she said that. It was just, it was a perfect summation.
For me, man, honestly, Molly McCann, that was a hell of a knockout, but I was honestly truly shocked by the way that Arnold Allen beat the hell out of Dan Hooker.
Yeah, I take that back. I take that back.
You want to, dude? I did not see that coming, and that was part of my parlay. I'm not even.
Fuck you, Arnold Allen. Fuck you.
Like,
if you wouldn't have done your job, now I'm totally kidding, Arnold Allen. If you hear this, I would love to have you on the show, but. Yeah, you fucked up my parlay because I got to give credit where it's due. I'm going to be 100% honest with you. I said it on the show leading up to this, so you can go ahead and hit that subscribe button and go check it out for yourself. I really thought that Dan Hooker was going to be the step up that really showed whether Arnold Allen was on point or he wasn't. And man, especially with the way Dan Hooker came in looking, dude, he overwhelmed his ass.
I was shocked, dude. I didn't expect that at all. He went out there and did work. Dude's got some hands. Wow. That's all I could say. Wow.
I know. If he can find a way to just be a little more active, man, because he put on like a true showcase performance. That was he in my eyes won the clear silver medal. I feel like if I was to kind of rank a 3, I would agree with both of your guys' picks, really. But I would put Molly McCann at 3. She put on such a showcase performance that she's going to now garner maybe co-main event slots, and if she continues to win, maybe even work her way into a main event. But really, my number one's got to be Tom Aspinall, man. He showcased such a level of dominance over Volkov that was so. I was going into that fight. I genuinely did not know how that was going to play out. I figured Tom Aspinall was going to be quicker and maybe be able to put that on display. Maybe be able to get him down, maybe get a submission. For him to do all of that in a matter of 3 minutes and just put on such a showcase type of performance and under a round and get the finish the way he did. Talk about somebody moving their way up to the serious contender slots at in the UFC heavyweight division. That was a great performance, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
I completely agree with that. Like I said, I mean, I can't argue that point at all. All right. Here's the thing. I guess my last question coming out of UFC London, especially being the fact that Tom Aspinall already said like he doesn't really want a title shot next. He said he wants to fight. He wants to fight a couple more times before he does. Bruce coming in the comments on YouTube. Let's see. Paddy Pimblett reveals he made 12,000 to show and 12. Wow.
That's what I'm saying. He was in the 20
wow,
to 20
that
range.
low though.
And then
Fuck.
And then
I hope he got
a 50 bonus, but even with
I
that,
fuck yeah, I hope he got more than that.
Yeah, that's what I'm
shit,
saying.
I mean, we know the UFC. We know the UFC is famous for giving people checks on the back end. Hot damn, dude! I hope he got paid some on the back end. Bruce, if you were watching UFC London, we just ranked our three, our three standouts for that one. Who do you think's the standout? Do you think it was Paddy, Molly McCann, or Tom Aspinall? But
Arnold Allen, can't forget Arnie, man.
Arnold, excuse
me.
Like,
like you said, he's the one kind of getting pushed under the bus because of all the other performances.
There was a lot, man. There was so much on that card.
That card was awesome. That card was better than half of the pay-per-views we watched.
And like I said, I know we've stressed on how old I can be sometimes. For me to get up, start my day, and watch UFC during the day, during lunch, and all that, I'm with that, man. Let's do more of that, please.
I'm just glad I was at home because I probably wouldn't have.
Right.
Go ahead.
It was like watching a great early day football game, like a 3:30 start that just plays into overtime, and it was just a great game. It was like had that same type of vibe, but even more so because of the knockouts and everything that kept being on display. One thing I do want to mention before we do jump off UFC London, what about the tearjerker that they tried to pull with Mike Grundy and then him to just go out there and get submitted in 30 seconds by Amir Khani? Well, I want to hear the thoughts on that one, fellas.
J-Bone, you go first.
Wait, I'm sorry. Say it again. I got my messenger things going crazy over here. I gotta turn this off.
So the capping fight for the prelims was Mike Grundy, who's a big favorite yet again in England, and he was taking on another European guy in Amir Markani, and they did the whole
that was
thing.
The main event of the prelim that he got finished
that
a minute
was
or something like that.
Yeah, that was the whole. His dad's got terminal illness, and they played it up like this is gonna be for him. This is his big moment, and then he went out there and got subbed in 45 seconds.
Yeah, man. What are you gonna do, man? That's the fight game,
was happy with Paddy and Molly. I'm sure that's what I'm saying. They definitely had to get some money on the back end for sure. For sure, they had to.
I hope so.
All right, Bruce coming in the comments. Dan Hooker is almost as good at getting murdered these days as actual hookers. Coming in with the heat. See, you fit in just fine over here with us, Bruce. You got to make sure you check out some of these interviews we have with these fighters too, man. We got them. We got you covered, my guy.
That's another.
That Grundy cancer thing is perfect for MMA because it's a fucking cruel sport, and there are no happy endings in this motherfucker, bro. Yep. That's perfect.
Yeah.
That's I hated that was my feeling in it, but whenever they do these huge build-ups and stuff, it's man, you still got to go in there, right?
Yeah,
you still got this
it would have been a feel-good story, man, but this shit ain't scripted, you know what I mean? Yeah. All it takes is one sub, one good punch, man, you're stuck, it's over.
So I agree, man, but like I said, I don't hate on the guy for doing that because dude, I don't hate on the guy for doing that because dude, every time I stepped on a mat or anything like that after my grandpa died, dude, I may not, obviously smaller scale, whatever, but I'm just saying, for me, that stuff always gave me more motivation. So you know what? I got no problem with him doing that.
Yeah,
but
I wasn't trying to shit on it, but
no, for sure, I get you. No, I totally get it, and it's shitty that it played out that way. But
Since he posed this question in the comments, I do want to get your guys' quick thoughts. I know you had a busy weekend as well in the wrestling world, but Dan Hooker, where do we go, man? He's one of my favorite fighters. He looked great at 55 for a long time, and then hit this real rocky skid against the legit top 5 contenders in the division. Now moves down and takes the beating that we've seen against Arnold Allen, and that was just one, like minute and a half barrage of just hell that he dealt with. And
Yeah.
you hate to see it, man. The cut down to 45 was rough for him. Thoughts, guys, thoughts.
I don't know, man, because after hearing what Dana said, I don't really think that this is going to really hurt him like that. Because number one, he pretty much said he can do whatever he wants. The problem is with the losses he's taken, he's essentially almost secured himself that gatekeeper spot. The problem, so for me with Dan Hooker, I think what it boils down to, number one, what weight is he going to feel healthiest at? I think that has a lot to do with it. With that being said, whichever weight he decides, I would like to see him get in a fight against more of a striker, somebody that's going to want to come in and let him bang. I think at least give him a fight to where he can kind of try to knock the rust off, because he stepped up and took this fight on such a short thing. So I'd like to see him in a fight where we can see Dan Hooker more at, what I would say most all of us would say is his strong suit. But that being said, I mean, him taking those losses, it's going to be a tough road to hoe whether he stays at 145 or 155.
Yeah. He's lost like what, 4 out of 5 now? 4 out of his past 5 fights?
Yeah, 4 out of 5, I believe. Or it might even be 5 out of 6, but I believe it's 4 out of 5.
Bruce Cathy, what do you guys want to see next for Dan Hooker? Let me know in the comments.
Hopefully he finds a good spot, a good weight, man. He can hit a good streak or something. But hey, 4 out of 5, dudes, it's not a good look, dude. Not a good look. It's not as appealing to watch, anymore after something like that happens. So hopefully he can get back on the horse, man, and figure it out.
I really hope so, dude.
I don't think he's going to lose a lot of fanfare for this one.
I agree. I think we all want to see him get a dub.
Yeah. I mean, don't forget, skip the Islam fight, because I feel like just about anybody that goes against Islam Makhachev right now is going to it's struggle city, right? That's just the toughest of fights. So just, we can skip that one. He did really good against Nasrat Haqparast. He won that fight very clearly, and that one was a true victory. And for me, what the weight class thing, I get where he wanted to maybe like reinvigorate his career, and maybe he thought he would have a bigger size advantage and stuff, but he just did not look like he had the speed to deal with Arnold Allen. He really did not look like he. And I know Arnold Allen's on such an undefeated streak in the division, undefeated in the UFC actually. So he's maybe a standout case, but that's a great matchup. I'd love to see maybe something.
But didn't L.I. Quinta just say he wanted? But didn't L.I. Quinta just say he retired?
He's very, very much rumored that he wants to come back already. He's very much rumored that he.
See, but this goes back to what we talked about before. And Bruce, since you're newer here, I'd love to hear, what you think. Please, I hope you make sure you hit that subscribe button, like button, all those things. But dude, I agree with you. I'd love to see that fight, but I've talked about this before. Anyone that's ever stepped in a ring or a cage or anything will tell you this. The second that somebody starts saying they want to retire, motherfucker's head ain't all the way in it. And this ain't a sport that you can do that. So unless something that switch flipped and he's able to come back, strong, hard, coming ready to bang, not that L.I. and Quinta ever came in there soft, unless there's like a switch that flipped that suddenly is going to change something. Once somebody starts talking like that, a lot of times for me, that means they've already made that decision up for themselves in their mind. But that's just me personally.
I think he just wasn't happy with his last performance against Bobby Green. He got handled pretty easily by Bobby Green in his last fight. And he's kind of came out since then saying that was definitely not the best version of me. I was dealing with injuries. And I just know that's not how I want to leave the taste for the fans and everything that I've done with my career, and I can't argue with that one bit. And that matchup would be kind of perfect. I feel as though he's a little too big for 45. I would rather see him at 55. That being said, though, we've seen a ton of people make a move down
Align
as of
Quint is
recently.
big for 55, so I don't know about that,
Well,
but
no, I'm not talking Al. I'm talking back to Dan Hooker now. I'm saying for Dan, he's huge for 45. But we've seen Edson Barbosa, even though he got handled by Bryce Mitchell, he's looked well since he moved down to 45. We've seen Jose Aldo move down to 35 and look well. So I don't know. Maybe he knows something I don't know, but the speed just looked like a huge factor in there. And the lower you go down, the speed just becomes even more of a factor. So I feel like 55 would be better for him.
I don't know, man. It's all going to be how he feels health wise. I mean, I kind of tend to agree with what you're being somebody that's fought at smaller weight classes. Like, yeah, it might not be as bad on him for weight cuts, but me personally, I always like to fight in a weight class where I was the bigger guy. I depends on how healthy he feels with the weight cut and all that. But let's stick a pin in UFC London. There was plenty to talk about there. The last thing I wanted to talk about before we hop back over to the wrestling side of things, what the fuck? So do you think that what George Masvidal did was a G move, or do you think it's a sore loser? I want to know what you guys think.
I love when he starts segments like that. What the fuck?
Right. That's a great intro.
Hey, how you really feel, Kyle, man? How you really feel? What the fuck, man?
I mean, is there any way really else to describe what happened with that? Really? I mean, honestly?
That's a great sum up, really. It honestly is. And in my opinion, whenever you don't square up with somebody before you start throwing hands, it's a bitch move. Always is, always will be. In my book, that's called
No, Cody said he was a G. He said, fuck it. Cody said that's the G'est shit ever. He said, fuck that he snuck shot him.
One thing for sure, Jorge don't play, dude. He already warned him about that. So if I see you in the
he
streets,
said, you ain't walking around the 305.
Hey, I feel him on that, dude. But like you said,
but to show up at a restaurant, dog, right? Like, come on, man.
You guys are professionals. These things happen in the cage for a reason, you know, it's sanctioned stuff. But when trash talk leads outside of the cage, the professionalism's gone. And like I said, Jorge's a G, dude. We already know he don't play.
And let's not forget, like, let's not negate the fact that if what all the reports are true, you know, Masvidal said in his ear before he hit him, you shouldn't have said shit about my kids.
Right. And I agree.
I'm just saying, there's lines that shouldn't get crossed. They were both slinging mud, dude, but like, I mean, look, I've said this before. I mean, we've all had beef with somebody before. I can understand wanting to fight somebody like that with Colby, but here's the thing. I guess the question to what I have is, do you guys feel like the fact that they fought for a full 25 minutes and Masvidal couldn't really do anything to Colby Covington, this to me, even though I can totally understand and not necessarily condone, but I can't say that I haven't had somebody that I've wanted to fight on site like that too.
Right.
I mean, it's hard for it not to look like a sore loser type move when you just fought for 25 minutes. It would be different if, like, you guys didn't get to settle it in the octagon and all that stuff. Now, I'm not saying that if they don't run in the back that Masvidal couldn't, you know, catch him and beat him, but I'm just saying you guys just fought, and then to do that out in the street, I don't know. To me, it's not necessarily a good look for the sport, but I mean, what do you guys think about what happened with Masvidal and Covington?
I mean, like I say, to me, that's a bitch move. I can understand where people are like, that's defending your, like, he was Colby Covington. I'm not a fan of the technique of shit talk that he implements in these press conferences and whenever he gets a mic in his hands, frankly. But that being said, like, to your point, Kyle, it would have been one thing if you would have did that when shit popped off, when it was like that time, or even if he would have been able to land some more solid shots during the fight and then been like, well, that was for this, that was for that. But to do it like out of field, basically. Dude's at dinner, and you're just gonna fucking swarm up on him. And from what it sounds like, dude was in a freaking
Like a
surgical
disguise.
mask, which is really just like one of
A
them
surgical
blue
mask and a hoodie.
Yeah, and ran up in his hoodie and just fucking socked him. That sounds
And
like some
chipped
bitch
his
shit.
tooth too.
Yeah. So if I was Colby, you gotta make Jorge feel that one, right? Like you can't just let him fucking come up and swarm your ass, right?
But are you? But okay, so are you? If it were you and you got hit like that, though, are you pursuing the charges like that?
Yeah, I'm taking back those pay-per-view points that he tried to rub in my face during the press conference. That's exactly what I'm doing.
Now, here, look, on the other side of this, though, if I'm Kobe and I speak on somebody's children, I better be watching my fucking back. Because
Yeah.
I mean,
as a father, all professionalism goes out the window. You talk shit about my kids, you speak about my kids, you're going to feel my wrath, and that's just it. So I get that part, but you are under the microscope as a professional. So in some way, shape, or form, you got to kind of lead as a professional, as a role model. But on the other, like I said, on the other side, it's completely different when you're talking about the children.
Yeah.
So
and I agree.
I could see it both ways, man. Hopefully nothing crazy comes up. Hopefully at the end we just get another fight, because let's throw more fuel on the fire. Let's get another fight. Screw it. You know what I mean? If that's what it comes down to. Hopefully that's just it.
Yeah, I wouldn't be opposed to it for a round two, but I would prefer that round two to be in the cage and not just some random ass street fight where he runs up and punches him.
Right.
I mean, I hope, and Cody says the same things. I hope for another fight. I would like to see another fight too, but the thing is, at this point, you almost got to wonder, does that fight make sense even at this point for Colby? But then again, Colby's really got himself in like the weirdest pigeonhole ever when you really think about the fact that he's essentially, for all intents and purposes, the number 2 welterweight in the world. He's already lost to Usman twice. There's really nobody else but Leon Edwards for him to fight, that if he beat him, you could, put him right back there for a title shot. And if they do run that fight back with Masvidal again, I mean, what is that really going to do to help Colby get back in the rankings? And if you still want to build Masvidal as a draw for you, I mean, if he loses again, then that's pretty much going to kill all that. So I don't know, man. The whole thing is going to leave it in a tough spot for that. But I don't know, man. Like I said, another fight would be nice, but I don't think it's something that you can go back to right away.
I think Chael posed a really interesting thing. I don't necessarily at all think he would win the fight, but I think it would do nothing but help Israel Adesanya to fight somebody like a Colby Covington that could really build into a pay-per-view and really help sell and continue to build his star
It would be
power.
great, but then that would really kill Colby if you think about it, though.
But it gives him a title opportunity at another division where
I agree. I'm not saying I don't,
So
I'm not saying I don't like the fight.
I think it's a win-win. I really do, and I think with Colby being able to get the victory in a showcase pay-per-view where there was no belt on the line and stuff, he may deserve those opportunities. And I seen the question was actually posed to Dana. I forget which interview it was, but Dana wasn't necessarily against it. He said with the way that the division's kind of been playing out, it seems like Rob Whittaker is the clear number 2, but same type of deal. He's fought him twice.
Well, but that's what Dana said. Dana said that he'd have to fight somebody like a Rob Whittaker for him to be able to get a title shot. I don't think Colby should be able to walk up to that weight class and go get another title shot because he lost both his title shots at 170. Mm-hmm. But like I said, we'll have to see what happens for Colby. The last thing I want to talk about on the MMA side of things is, first of all, free Kane in this bitch. But second of all,
for real.
Free Kane number 1. That's just my thoughts on that, and I'm glad to tell anybody what my thoughts are on that. But that being said, how gangster is Chael Sonnen really, though? Because let me tell you, if I was Chael Sonnen and I was walking with my dime piece of a wife and 5 dudes circled us up like they was about to jump me, or they were going to try to do whatever they were going to try to do with his wife around. I was saying this before we went on air. If you circle me up or you come and grab my wife like that, I'm not condoning fighting with people out in public. I'm not saying go get in a street fight, but I'm sorry. There's just some things as a man that if I'm out with my wife and you grab my wife's ass or you do whatever it is that those guys did that prompted that, because if you watch the video, you can clearly see that those guys started it. Play stupid games, you get stupid prizes. And they got the American Gangster for their stupid prize. I'm just saying. They played stupid games and got a stupid prize, and Chael Sonnen whooped his ass. Whooped their ass is what I should say. So that's just my thought on it. But
you really hate to see the fact that the
and he's got like 15 misdemeanor charges on that. For those of you guys who are watching in the comments, did you guys see what happened? Did you guys see what happened with Chael Sonnen? Bruce, if you're still watching, what are your thoughts on the whole thing with Chael Sonnen? I agree with you. Free Kane in this bitch.
Yeah, free Kane. That's number one. That should be the headliner till every show until we see him out on the streets again. But that being said, he lived up to the moniker 110%, huh? The American Gangster, defending what he needs to defend. And it's unfortunate, man. Like, to your point, hopefully that evidence gets showcased in court so that the charges do.
They can't not.
But yeah, but the fact that it's even going to that point once the civil.
That's just these people being stupid and thinking they're going to get over because he's a professional fighter. That's all that is. I mean, dude, I never.
And then
that's all they think it is. But that's self-defense. Even if they hadn't swung on him first, the fact that they came at his wife like that, you could say you were defending your wife.
Right.
Like literally.
I hope the court feels the same way. I really do.
I just hate that
the American justice system is sometimes it's just sometimes in the Kane circumstance exactly. Sometimes things are just completely ass backwards of how they should be. So I really hope that's the case. You know what I mean?
I don't know, man. Like I said, I'm 100% with Chael Sonnen on this one, but. You notice we got the memo in this bitch. I've been rambling for almost an hour, but you need to check out the ramblings of a grappleman with our boy, Mr. Matthew Priest. We were down there at BCWA Slamsters. Corey needs to stop being a hoe. But anyway, we dude, I'm going to keep throwing it out there.
Hey, Corey's going to come over there and kick your ass, man. He's going to beat down
Come on with it. I ain't moved in 20 years, bitch. I ain't hard to find. I ain't moved in 20 years. I ain't hard to find. But like I said.
He's going to pop up behind you on this screen. Like, what'd you say?
Look, this ain't the Matrix. Corey don't have them kind of skills right now. He's messing with an iPad. He's got to get.
I wish I owned a teleporter. I wish.
Like I said, but we teleported our ass and checked out BCWA. Shout out to Matthew Priest. Shout out to Mike Blackwell. Shout out to Bill Martell in Studio 86 holding onto them tag belts from them DTA boys. And newly signed Impact Wrestling superstar, gut check winner, the Black Diamond Jack Price. I mean, that was a pretty damn good match. We saw the return of our guy Blake. Uncle Chase had a fatal four-way for the Alliance Championship. Fucking A, dude. BCWA came out swinging. What were your thoughts on BCWA Slamsters?
Hey, man. As always, great show. Top to bottom, dude. The staff there, very, very welcoming people. You know what I mean? Like they it's definitely a family-oriented kind of event down there. So everybody's approachable. Everybody's talking. Like I got pictures. My nephew's got pictures, man, with some of the wrestlers. You know what I mean? It's a great night out for the family at BCWA. It always is. But one thing I want to point out is Uncle Chase. He tweeted or put on Facebook. He came out with no cane. That dude is getting younger. Younger as he wins.
He found the fountain of youth.
He found the fountain of youth, man. He put on a great show though. That was a hell of a fatal four-way match. I love that shit, man. So shout out to him, man. Studio 86, dude. How do you not love them? You know what I mean? They set the tone for that crowd. That was pretty cool, man. Come on, we got people dancing.
I'm still dying to like get to have Bill Martell on the show, just for the simple fact that I've never gotten to tell the story on air of the fact that me and superstar Bill Martell fought on the same boxing card in the middle of Detroit next to a strip club in the middle of the summer when I was 13 years old, and we fought on the same card. And now you fast forward to 13 plus years later, and I'm working with this guy in pro wrestling, and we both fought on the same card. So it's there's a lot of good things to come with superstar Bill Martell. But yeah, Studio 86 definitely can excite the crowd. But man,
how do I got to get me a Studio 86 t-shirt, man.
I want to know how they keep those fanny packs on the whole match.
I was wondering the same thing. Well, I mean, if you look at
my that's got to be like some super elastic stretch. Or like
by the end of the match, he's ready to strip down, dude. If you don't stop him, so I don't know. I don't know how they keep it on.
That's what she said. But yeah, man. BCWA was definitely a good time, dude. I enjoyed it. Shout out to Uncle Chase. We saw a new BCWA world champion in weaponized Alex Weir, who is a guy that I've been saying for a while is a guy you're going to be seeing a lot of places. Hopefully we can start seeing him in our trips out to Texas and all those things. I mean, hell, Alex just had a hell of a match against former Ring of Honor star Matt Taven, because he's Matt Taven. But Alex, got the dub in that one, dude. So like I said, it was, he's been making some waves, so it was good to see him get the BCWA title. I just got to say, J-Bone, which title do you like better? I like the old BCWA title better. I say they should stick with that.
I wasn't going to say anything, but yeah, I do too.
Blackwell, if you hear this, you should definitely go back to the old belt or get a new belt, but I like the old belt.
Whatever. New belts are always cool too.
I mean, we just talked about new belts with our buddy Chris Kohlberg from RPW, who just got that badass belt from Hyperion Belts. I definitely am going to have
ain't nothing wrong with change unless you're the IC title, then you need to go back to the old school belt. But that's a whole different story.
I got one of them. I won me some money. The motherfucking belt.
I love how you keep it right there at all times. Always with an arm.
Gotta stay strapped.
Yeah.
Gotta do it. Yeah. I won $200 for that bitch. Just saying. I'm gonna win it at the next Royal Rumble too. But yeah.
Double champ next year. Double champ. You're looking at him.
No way. I'm taking all the bread next year. I don't know what you're talking about. Corey's not entitled to any. He gets to come around for the ride, but I gotta win it.
I better get a come up for
Corey's got to win something.
I know. I better get a come up. Damn.
You see this? We only can get the guy out the house once a year, and then not only he stays out, we gotta fucking give him a payoff to come watch the Rumble. Look at this shit. What is this? We can't even get the guy out to the damn shows, but you gotta pay me for the Rumble, even though you had the same luck of the draw like the rest of us, motherfucker.
I don't know if luck was on his side that night.
Luck was the very opposite of my side on that.
Hold on, Cody. You can't just drop comments in there and not be specific. Stay strapped. You're gonna be where next year? I need to know what I'm missing here. Okay, and Phil, what are we talking about here? What's not likely?
Hey, Phil. Let me tell you this. Phil the Greek, that dude.
Oh, that's it. It is likely. I'm keeping this bitch undisputed.
We've been doing this Royal Rumble thing for probably now, I don't know, 8-9 years. Phil has probably won 6 of those. Not gonna lie, dude. Phil is for some reason was on a hot streak. Hopefully that streak's over. Phil, sorry, bro. Greek, you're done.
There you go. Cody said he wants in on the Rumble party. We got to just find us another building. Hell, maybe we'll start throwing parties.
This thing is going to grow. It's going to be more money for me to win. It's going to be great.
Cody, I will gladly take your money as well and stay the champ in this bitch.
I don't know.
I'm just saying.
It was a good time. It definitely added a fun layer to the top. So if we can convert it into something even bigger, why the fuck not? Yeah.
Right.
Like I said, any places that have like any bars or restaurants that are hearing this, we are looking for a place to start throwing parties. We've given away NXT tickets. I've given away signed autograph stuff. I've given away t-shirts. We've given away belts. We've given away all kinds of shit at our parties. We've got to get them back. You're not the first ones to say that we need to make it happen. That's something that maybe we got to make happen in
And next year's
2022.
Royal Rumble, he's
Going for that Ric
money.
Flair record. Well, guess what, Playboy? I'm going to have that Bruno Sammartino reign and hold that bitch for like 3 years.
Nature.
Just saying. 3 of them.
Look, that's Greek right there. You don't even know.
All right. Well, for those of you who don't know, I mean, obviously, we've been talking about it. It's been a segment on the show. Has anybody else that's watching this, if you've played the new WWE 2k22, I want to know what y'all motherfuckers think of WWE 2k22, because I've got to say, so far, I've been pleasantly surprised by the game. I'm not saying it's the best game I've ever played, but I've legitimately enjoyed playing through it. Now, I haven't played all the way through the showcase mode yet. I played through a good part of the My Rise career mode that they've had, and just the fact that the story keeps going and it's not like doing the whole back and forth, shit like that. I don't know. I've enjoyed it so far.
So is it anywhere near like the My Player? Like I'm comparing it to like 2K's My Player mode type of game.
I would
right?
say I literally, it's funny you say that, because the first comparison I gave when I told Corey the first night I played it, this is the closest a WWE game has come to being as good as the 2K games are for NBA. I feel like since WWE's gone over there.
Right on. I mean,
and I feel like that's
right,
the, and I
sports and everything. That's
right, and I feel like that's
right?
the best compliment that I can give it, is that it's on that level like they did. I like that they changed up the gameplay. There's not been a ton of glitching, although in the middle of trying to defend my North American title, my guy just was running and running and running in a corner, and I'm like, motherfucker, he's gonna kick you in the face, and I couldn't even move. That was not fair.
You can't win them all, right? You can't win them all.
I did still win that one. It was against Brian Kendrick.
Have you done the GM mode, my GM mode?
I have not played that yet. So far, I've played Showcase mode and I played the My Rise mode.
That's always been my thing. I like to create pay-per-views and create little stuff, and the creation zones for me is always where I hang out the most in those games. So
yeah, he's a creative type.
Man.
You got to check out the J-Bone show.
Yeah, you got to check it out, man. Very creative over here.
I haven't gotten to check that out yet. But dude, I mentioned that some of the things in the story I liked. I like that it's a lot like what they do in NBA 2K, where the choices that you make throughout the career, like the people you talk to and all that kind of stuff, kind of determines which way your game goes. Because they turned me heel at one point, and I'm like, well, how the hell did I end up turning heel? This is news to me. I didn't do anything. And so then it goes to, I start this story against Rey Mysterio where my guy hijacks one of Eddie's lowriders from the warehouse and drives out Eddie's lowrider to the ring to lie, cheat, and steal. And then so I got to fight against Rey Mysterio, and then I got to fight against Dominic, and then me and Rey end up fighting in the parking lot. Rey blows my shit out, and then all of a sudden I'm fighting Eddie Guerrero in the fucking parking lot, and he hits a damn frog splash off the top of a fucking ambulance on me. Yeah, dude. So it gets a little gnarly in 2K22 My Rise. I'm just saying.
I'm gonna have to check it out, man. I've been putting it off for a while. I gotta get that.
I had preferenced this when you first brought it up, I believe last Tuesday. I always loved the wrestling games when I was a kid. I will not pay the full price for this game. That is for damn sure. But if it finds its way to a nice solid sale within the next year or so, I very well might pick it up, because I've always been interested in those kind of games. They're always just a fun kind of dick around, put an hour or two, and be able to turn it off kind of game. So I'm curious.
Just go turn in some games to GameStop. Take back about 50 games.
Dude, they don't give you shit at GameStop. I don't know when the last time you tried to turn a game in.
50 to 100 games will give you $19-20 for all of them. And then there you go.
See, Cody said it right there. Got to get the game. I haven't heard one bad thing about it. Like I said, I'm calling you out, bitch. When you get the game, I'll play you in 2K22. But hey, I called out Jimmy Smith for Wrestlemania. Jimmy Smith, if you hear this, I want to see how good them leg locks are, bro. Just make sure if I tap you, let my leg go.
Talking that game, I had brought it up yet again last Tuesday when you were bringing up WWE 2K. For any of you who may be out there, and are curious about the Oculus boxing and the just Oculus system in general, go fucking do it, man. That Oculus boxing's so fucking fun. It really is, and it's like truly one of the best workouts ever. You'll just be
Wow.
sweating.
You see this
You'll
shit.
be
You're going to come on
sweating
my
your
show.
ass off.
You're going to come on my show and come in here talking some shit. Talk about you're going to come in here and beat me on my own turf. Well, you know what? Bring it, you some bitch. Bring it.
Challenges. There's challenges.
Challenge. You heard me and Devin say it when we had Austin Theory on. Challenge is accepted. Just saying. Don't get scared now. You heard it here on the show. But I don't know, man. Like I said, we'll definitely have to break that down and see where that goes. Well, since we're talking about wrestling, it's one more week till I go to Wrestlemania. One more week till Wrestlemania. My teeth will be ripped out of my mouth, so my teeth won't hurt anymore. Bro, I'm so ready to get to Dallas at this point. I'm just saying, like, I'm seriously ready to.
Week Thursday, right? Thursday takeoff?
Yes, sir. Thursday morning, I'm going to be in the air, and Thursday night, I'm going to be at Bloodsport, motherfucker. Like I said, it's going to be a good time. Challenge accepted. Well, anytime, any place, sweetheart. I ain't moved in 20 years. But like I say, I am very much so looking forward to Dallas. I'm looking forward to WrestleMania. I'm looking forward to the other shows that we're going to hit. Like I said, I'm really just looking forward to getting down there. So my question to you guys is, I guess, the two biggest questions. There you go, Sophia. I was wondering if you were still in here. I want to know, looking forward to Bloodsport and WrestleMania. Me fucking too. So now that we know you're back in here, I need some Canadian expertise here, since we're talking about your fellow countrymen here in a minute. What are your guys' thoughts on what we've seen from KO and Stone Cold at this point? Do you think that we're going to get a match? Do you think that Seth Rollins is going to be involved in this somehow? Do you think that the wild-ass scenario that I threw out could happen, in which, what if Seth Rollins comes to interrupt the KO show, and then they try to jump Austin, and then it ends up being Austin and Undertaker versus Seth Rollins and Kevin Owens at night 2? I think there's a million different ways of where we could go with this one. But while I give people some time to... Mox is doing another one is great. I cannot wait to see that in person. Mox in Bloodsport is going to be fucking badass. So I very much so am really looking forward to that. But what are your guys' thoughts on Austin versus KO, and how do you think that this is going to play out at WrestleMania?
I would hope, with all the kind of anticipation that they're building and the fact that it was announced super early and stuff, that he does do a match of some sort. Whether it plays, however that kind of plays out, I think he definitely needs to be involved in the action somehow. Just because of the simple fact of all the promos and stuff that have been out there, and the fact that they are kind of continuing to build onto the story, and it's not just, if they would have just did it as like a surprise, here he is, here's his entry, his walkout music and so on, then I could see him maybe just having a showcase or something like that. But he's got to be involved with something because of the buildup that they're doing.
Well, so go ahead.
I'm hoping. I hope it's more than just like a segment. You know, like, remember how we got the Rock versus, was it Eric Rowan for a minute? Like, I hope it's more than something like that. I don't see it actually being like a sanctioned match, though. I mean, because it's not like, we're not building for Austin to be in the ring, like in his trunks with the classic Stone Cold. We're just saying Austin's going to be there, right? Like, he's going to be.
You don't think, though, with as much as they've said that shit on commentary, that it's been 20 years since he got in the ring?
With it. It just,
like, I agree, but what I'm saying is, you keep bringing up that point, you're making it seem like it's going to be a match, which is also why I kind of thought, maybe something happens at the KO show on night 1 that brings it into night 2, because then here's the other thing, and we got to talk about that too. We'll talk about that in a minute, but what do we see for Seth Rollins next? So how do you see this playing out? What do you think the scenario is? You think it's just the one night KO show?
Well, the more that once you brought that up, the more that we thought about it, I would be definitely on board with KO and Rollins somehow coming out there and, hey, let's take out Stone Cold, and then Undertaker show up, or something like that, I'm cool with that because I'd love to see Undertaker get that final send off. Definitely, especially in Texas at WrestleMania. And who better than Stone Cold, right? From the same era. I mean, come on, dude.
Oh, it's definitely going to be a brawl. There's no way he's not coming out there and fucking
somebody. I want to see him kick some ass. I want to see him drink tons of fucking beer. I want the whole ring to be soaking wet. Just drop the beer from the ceiling. You know what I mean? Just douse him in beer. But no, I hope we get. I hope it's not short. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. Is I hope it's not short because the glass shatter. That's going to be one thing. That's a whole different event, if you ask me. When he hits the ring, dude, the place is going to explode.
Did you hear the pop for just his music to play last night? Like just his music to play. The fucking roof almost blew off that place. I've been in that arena. Dude. It was in Chicago. It was in Chicago at the Allstate Arena, which used to be called the Rosemont Horizon, which also happens to be Stone Cold's favorite arena for those of you who don't know. But yeah, dude. Like I say, that pop and the fact they got him twice.
Yeah.
The fact that they got him twice in the same segment, dude, it hit hook, line, and sinker. And the thing of it is, like, man, in Texas with 50, 60,000 people in that bitch, man, it's going to be bananas.
So did I see this right? That's going to be the main event of night one?
That's what I was about to ask. Everybody's been saying, where's it going to be at on the card? Do you think that needs to... The only way I think it could really main event night one is if, like, you did the KO show earlier in WrestleMania, and then if it's going to be a match, then you build it up to where it's going to happen at the end of the night.
Because you got to have a payoff. You got to have a payoff at the end of the show.
Well, right. But that's why I'm saying, as of right now, there's no match. That's why I'm saying. So that's kind of where where the thought was. But then again, that kind of goes into what they've been saying on commentary and all that. They keep going over the fact that Austin hasn't been in a ring in 19 years.
Yeah.
Almost kind of makes you feel like they kind of have to,
some kind of little match plan.
See, Sophia just said she saw somewhere that they're going to be the main event of night one too. So, I mean, I don't know, man. I'm really looking forward to it.
You're not going to send people home with a flat, like a flat look at WrestleMania. Like, oh,
dude, I am all for one last Stone Cold beer bash. And Devin, Devin wasn't going to go to WrestleMania, and of all nights he gets to go, he's got the free ticket to night one when Stone Cold comes back.
All right,
so.
Hey, how do you make it better, dude? I mean, Stone Cold's there. The only thing that would be better is if he grabs a microphone and says, "Hey, everybody, reach under your seat. There's a can of beer under there." You know what I mean? Like, dude,
I mean, bro, if you want to give me another can of that Stone Cold Broken Skull IPA, come on with it.
Have you tried
that? I liked it. Yes, I drank it in Vegas at the Nerd Bar. I liked it. It was good. I haven't tried the lager that he's got now, so like the straight beer. But I liked the Broken Skull IP. Any of you guys that are watching this, have you guys gotten to check out Stone Cold's beer? If not, I highly recommend it. All right. The last thing we got to talk about going into WrestleMania, I feel like, I mean, at least as far as headlines. Now, next week Tuesday, we're gonna get into our full WrestleMania, get our full WrestleMania predictions done. For night one and night two, because obviously I won't be able to bring you a show Thursday because ring the bell. I'm gonna be in that motherfucker. So I'm ready for I'm jet flying, kiss stealing, wheeling, dealing, son of a gun, and I'm having a hard time. I don't got alligators on, but keeping my motherfucking socks down. Hell yeah, let's go.
Don't like I say, as you did this Shoey in. Let's not do that.
Nope, those are all dried out, and nope. Nope. Yeah, it's not in Canada yet. Yeah, it's not here in Michigan yet either. Shout out to Johnny at the Nerd Bar. When we go to Vegas, we're definitely going back to the Nerd Bar, dude. Like, we definitely got to go back to the Nerd Bar. I had a damn good time at the Nerd Bar. And before you ask, I am not riding the mechanical dick that's in the bar, just for the record. Anyway.
I wasn't going to ask.
And way to transition.
And anyway,
speaking of mechanical things, who is it that you think? How do you guys see this whole thing playing out with the whole Seth Rollins deal? Who do you guys think he's going to face? Do you think it's going to be involved with the KO thing, Or, what are your, and that being said, do you want to see it be The Undertaker, or do you think it could be the latter? And do you think that we really might see Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania? Because I'm going to be honest with you, and I'll give my thoughts once you guys give yours. I would rather see Cody at the night after WrestleMania, but that's just my thoughts. But J-Bone, what do you think?
I'm with you on that. I mean, WrestleMania it's such a big deal, man. So to have something like that there, I mean, it's great. But for Seth, man, it's just like, I like what they're doing. Like I like him having an open spot. You know what I mean? Like anything could happen with Seth. It could be anybody. It could be The Undertaker, like you said. That's huge. It could be John Cena. It could be The Rock. We don't know. But the fact that everybody's leaning towards Cody, I feel like WWE's that company. They're like, oh, that's what you think it's going to be? Nah, we ain't going to do that. So
Sophia says she thinks it's Cody. I definitely think it's Cody. Seth is getting his WrestleMania. Seth's already had a bunch of WrestleMania moments, though. Let's think about it. Yeah. I was listening to the homies talk about that on Busted Open. Shout out to Dave and Bully and all those guys. Because guess what? We're in that bitch at the Busted Open party the day of WrestleMania Night 1. Me and Devin will be making an appearance at Texas Live. So if you guys are Busted Open Nation fans, come check out your boys from Knockouts 3 Counts. We'll be in the building. But all right. They were talking about this on Busted Open this morning. So Seth has had a lot of moments. Let's not forget, Seth is the one that cashed in the Money in the Bank on Brock Lesnar. Seth has also beaten Triple H at WrestleMania. Seth has also he's already had plenty of WrestleMania moments, so I don't know that he necessarily needs one. Now, if they were going to bring Cody in, is there any better way for them to immediately show, like, okay, Cody's not going to be going back down to the mid card again? Not really, because Seth, obviously, I would think most people that are watching this show would agree is one of their top guys. So I think that would be an immediate way to put people on notice where they're looking at Cody. Corey, go ahead and give your thoughts. Let's see. Doesn't matter. Seth can get more WrestleMania moments. You don't say Roman has had. Roman's had a lot of them too, but
So, my opinion, for some reason, he reminds me so much of like the wrestling version of a Nate Diaz, right? Like, I hate to constantly compare things to the MMA side, but I feel like wrestling and MMA, they just share so many similarities, and characters included. And I feel like he's got so many opportunities and he's got so many ventures that he could go on. I feel like the Cody Rhodes one would be a great one just because of the fact it's really like a showcase event. That the fans are kind of anticipating Rhodes making his return. So there's going to be a ton of eyes on that matchup for him. But the reason why I say is the Nate Diaz is because you never know which direction he's going to want to choose. And it just always seems like there's just a constant olive branch of just options that he could just pursue at any given moment. So that's where he goes. I feel like the Cody Rhodes one would be perfect. But to your point, J-Bone, yeah, they do tend to have an ear to the ground about things when it comes to like, oh, you're expecting this, then we're not doing it. So
now don't get me wrong, dude. Putting Cody in there with Seth, it could legit be the best thing you could do, because if anybody's going to make Cody look the best he can be, not that he needs much of it, it's going to be Seth Rollins, dude. That dude will make anybody shine. So, so even just let's just say it is Cody, for him to come into WrestleMania with that magnitude and be in the ring with Seth Rollins, that's not only doing something obviously for the company, but for Cody Rhodes as the brand himself and what he's done for himself. That's just the next step, if you ask me, because Seth Rollins is 100% a main eventer. And to be in the ring,
I have no argument there at all.
At WrestleMania with the mysterious, whatever, we don't even know what's going on. If it is Cody, it's great. But I just hope it long term. I guess I'm just thinking long term. I hope it pans out the right way, because as we all know, WWE can take things, crumble it up, and just throw it away the next night. I just hope it turns out really well. And it should, with the 2 stars there, it should.
Okay, so there's a couple of things, and here are my thoughts when it comes to this. So, number one, I agree with you completely. Like if they put him with Seth and that ends up being what Cody does, if Cody comes back at WrestleMania, because again, people, just because Dave Meltzer might have fucking reported it doesn't mean that it's true. I'm just saying.
Wait, you
Just
mean he
saying.
doesn't report all facts?
I hate to be the one to finally break that to you, but all
I
right.
think
With that being out of the way, now that I've broke the third wall, all right. Here's my thoughts on that. So I've already said I think if Cody's going to come in, having them do that at the night after Mania, which is essentially like the reset for WWE every year, that's the way to do it, in my opinion. If you're going to have Seth have some kind of match at WrestleMania, I'd almost rather it be something to do with The Undertaker rather than that. Because if I was talking about this with somebody the other day at work, what if, I mean, again, dependent upon what happens with Seth, I guess will really depend on how all this plays out. But dude, like, I think the best way for Cody to come in and, to immediately make an impact, I think you have Monday Night Raw, have it start, have the lights all be off. As soon as that bitch starts, have a spotlight come back on, have Cody sitting in the ring. No music, no nothing. Have him on the mic and give him 5 to 10 minutes just to talk. Because I don't think, regardless of how this plays out, that this is going to end up hurting. All right. Mike Johnson from PWI Insider has confirmed that he is signed and he's been accurate. No, Mike Johnson's great. No arguments at all. I'm not saying that Cody isn't coming to WWE, but what I'm saying is until I see him come out there, then I'll be with it. Because to go back to anybody who's listening about Seth, Sophia, I don't know if you're aware of this. I've done 3 or 4 of the Day at the Dead Boys things. I've worked out with Seth. I've worked out with Cesaro. I've seen Becky Lynch do her thing. I've seen the Bollywood boys in there with them. And I can tell you from seeing it with my own 2 fucking eyes, that guy busts his ass in the gym. And let me tell you, is stronger than a son of a bitch and athletic as can be. So I am by no means discounting Seth Rollins. I'm a big fan of Seth Rollins. I think he's on anybody's list if you're talking about top 5 wrestlers, especially in wrestling right now, or you're talking about even just the big companies. If you don't put Seth Rollins in with all the things that Seth Rollins has done in the last few years, are you really judging it accurately? It's really tough because either way, if it turned out to be something like what I said and then it ends up being a tag match with, maybe KO and Seth versus Undertaker and Austin, I think that'd be dope. I think if you did something similar to what we saw at the last WrestleMania I was at in New York, where we didn't know until WrestleMania that John Cena and The Undertaker were going to lock up. Even that, have Seth hijack WrestleMania. Nobody's ever done that before. Have the lights go out, have The Undertaker be back in the ring. I mean, there's a million different ways you can do it, but for me, I'm totally interested to see Cody come into WWE. I don't know that I want to see him show up just at WrestleMania with no nothing. I think it makes a way bigger impact if he shows up on the Raw after, because everybody's going to be expecting him to show up at WrestleMania. If he shows up at Raw, like I said, that's the big restart. So now insert new player here. Cody Rhodes has just entered the fucking chat. Right. Who knows where he goes off of Raw?
Now, we may get something this Monday, right? Because from what I saw, it looks like Seth Rollins plans to take over Raw. He said there's not going to be any show until he gets his WrestleMania moment, right? Is that what I heard? Okay. So maybe we get something Monday, or at least a sneak peek or a snippet of, maybe some foreshadowing or something. So I guess we'll see, man. But he'll have his spot.
If you had the potential, would you rather see him face The Undertaker? Would you rather see the tag, or would you rather it be Cody?
I think, honestly, I'd rather it be Cody, only because on WrestleMania, I'd rather have Rollins showcase his skills, dude. I'd rather him have a wrestling match, because with Taker, you're not going to get a lot. You're going to get a few bumps from, it's not going to be a whole lot of things. Austin, a lot going on there. But I would rather him have Like, hey, if Cody comes in and they have a fucking 5-star great wrestling match at WrestleMania, good for me, dude. I'm with that. So that's just a guy you don't want to stick him in the back. You want to just put him on a segment. You
No,
wanna have
I
him
agree,
catch
but
up
I
a
just
match.
feel like that's why I don't think him debuting at WrestleMania would be the best way to do it, because there's nobody knows whether he's coming or not.
Yeah.
And
Well,
if you
maybe we
don't
get an
do it,
answer on Monday. Maybe we get some
well,
kind of
right.
answer this Monday.
If they give you some kind of answer that preludes to that on Monday, fine. But
Yeah.
at the same time, though, I would rather see it happen at the night after Mania, because I would rather it be like, okay, well, shit, I thought it was going to be Cody at WrestleMania. And
Yeah.
okay, let's just say for all intents and purposes, it ends up being The Undertaker and Seth Rollins. Okay, that's fine. But then if Cody Rhodes shows up on that Raw after Mania, after everybody was so hyped for it, now you don't know what the fuck he's going to do. Everybody thinks he's just going to come in and face Seth. If you do it that way, you don't know what the hell Cody's going to do. I just feel like him coming on the Raw after Mania leaves so many more open doors as to what you can do. And if the rumors I'm hearing about the money he's getting paid, you know what? All right. Cody can still do a promo on Raw.
I was gonna
after
say maybe he
WrestleMania.
comes in there and he kicks Rollins' ass, dude, and says, "Hey, this is what I'm capable of," and hey, screw you. And then he opens the show the next night, like, "Listen, I'm here to take this shit over." Maybe, I don't know. I mean,
This
You
was the moment you asked for so bad, and then shut it down.
You know what I mean? You never know,
Dude, he could cut a variant of that Forbidden Door promo that he cut the last promo he cut in AEW. Because let's be honest, I said this here on the show after it happened. Everything he said about that Forbidden Door shit was real.
Yeah, definitely.
You think about when he first left WWE, he went everywhere. Impact, Japan, Indies, Ring of Honor.
The dude raised his stock, man. He raised his stock the right way. So here we are. He's coming back full circle. I didn't expect it, but if it is what it is, if you're gonna be on the biggest show, and let's face it, WrestleMania is the biggest wrestling show in the world every year. So you did your job right. You know what I mean?
I'm with you, bro. Like I said, I am very much so looking forward to seeing how that plays out. Like I said, we're just over a week from when I head down to Dallas. If you guys are going to be in Dallas for WrestleMania, come let me know where you guys are at. Make sure you're following us on at KO3C Pod. Like I said, J-Bone, you just got to go look at my social media and you'll see why we need to go back to the Nerd Bar. But I'm just saying, it's going to be a damn good time in Dallas. I can't wait to get down there. Shout out to the homie Shane T and Shane Taylor Promotions. Going to link up with them down there as well. I am really looking forward to it. Sophia, I appreciate the having a good time. Now, like the one cherry on the top of this, work has been a real pain in the ass. Boy, would it be funny if they happened to call me when I was working out with PCO. Because could you imagine what would happen if I gave him the phone to talk to my boss? Could you imagine? Kyle, I need you to come back from Texas. Rest in hell. Oh my God.
Talked to fucking what's that guy's name? Biff Diamond or something? Haven't talked to that guy.
I'm just not going to touch that one. But that's as good a place as any to start and leave a show. I am looking forward to it. Like I said, unfortunately, there's no show this Thursday because I will be busy getting I'll be going to see Dr. Isaac Yankum and get my damn teeth yanked out right quick. Yeah, man, I'm just saying. I'm going to go see our former mayor and get my teeth pulled. Might not have been my best choice, but
while you're laid up in bed, is there any chance Friday morning your eyes are going to be making its way to one FC for the biggest card that they've ever put on in their whole history?
Cody, I appreciate you, sir.
When is that? Friday morning?
Yeah, it's Friday morning. Like morning. Like
if I'm awake, look. If I'm awake, I mean, it wouldn't. Why not? Because I mean, hell, we've already established the fact that even when I try to sleep in, I can't. Well, so I'm still going to be up around 8:30.
The way that they do these, the way that they're doing this one in particular is it's basically 3 events back to back, all at the same day. So at least for the main event portion, I'm sure you'll be awake and able to view that. But if I'm not mistaken, the first main event the first card of it starts
You as
at,
well,
like,
Sophia. We
1
appreciate
or
you.
2 a.m. our time, if I'm not mistaken.
Ooh.
So
Well, my day starts at 4, man. I'll have to try to catch that throughout the day. It'll get me through my
Yeah.
work day. Not that I won't be working or anything.
I will be chilling at the crib. Just saying.
Hey, we're gonna have to get you on one of those videos. When you come out of anesthesia, maybe we can make you one of those viral videos or something.
Do you think I would do the slithering snake? I'll be a slithering snake. We got to get to the next episode. Don't get caught by the slithering snake. Make sure you hit that subscribe button so the slithering snake don't get you. Till the next one, and in between time, watch out for them snakes on the plane. Peace.